Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Revv Evolution. And in this episode, we'll be bringing you the very first compact crossover from Audi. It's gonna be a mouthful, so here goes. It's the all-new Audi Q3 Sportback SLine 2.0 TFSI Quattro Stronic. Right, so you're probably thinking, the first thing that comes to your mind is Audi Q3 Sportback. So what's the difference between this and the regular Q3? Well, first of all, it's a mixture of both SUV and coupe styling, and a whole lot of other differences, which we'll be diving into. Right, so some of the features which sets this Audi Q3 Sportback from its sister, the Audi Q3. First of all, it's its very muscular appearance, and on top of that, it is indeed longer. And from the front, the first thing that catches your eye, and for me personally, is this nice, cool honeycomb grille. And on top of that, the very cool and sporty air intakes. Moving right along to boot space, you'll probably be thinking the fact that now the Audi Q3 Sportback has a sloping roofline, it actually sacrifices storage. Well, folks, to be honest, it really does not. As you can see, the Audi Q3 Sportback still offers you 530 liters of space, and with the seats all folded down, you get a total space of 1,280 liters. While the Audi Q3 Sportback may have a sloping roofline to incorporate that whole coupe styling, you'd be surprised at how much of headroom I actually have inside this car. And the fact that this is actually longer than its sister, you actually realize that inside the car there's actually more space in terms of headroom, legroom, and even arm room. Hey guys, it's Renee, and right now I'm in the driver's seat of the Audi Q3 Sportback SLine 2.0 TFSI Quattro Stronic. Right, this is part of the video where I touch more on the features for you as a driver, as well as some of the comforts available in the Q3 Sportback. I'm not going to go into the repeat stuff that I mentioned earlier about the exterior and so on, because that's already covered in the earlier part of the video. All right, so what? Okay, let's jump into it. First of all, first thing you notice right there, staring right in front of you, is the very, very eye-catching virtual cockpit. That's right, it's a display for in other vehicles, but Audi calls it the virtual cockpit, and that's a very good reason for it. Because just like a fighter jet, when you have where you need all the information right in front of you, that's also available via the virtual cockpit. All right, so all you need to do is you can actually scroll through the different features or the different information that you need right at your fingertips, from your fuel consumption, your oil spend, the next servicing, all right, things like also what's the distance being traveled, and most importantly as well, is things like your navigation as well. So all information right there on the virtual cockpit, and you can actually change views. Basically, they have a classic, there's also a dynamic view, so which means that there's a whole bunch of different options that you can actually choose to see how your information is being displayed right here on the virtual cockpit. Alright, so that's something you really need to check out. And the other thing, which of course you have your hands on for 100% of the time when you're driving, is the steering wheel. Okay, in this case, the multi-function steering wheel, the 3-spoke multi-function steering wheel to be exact. And with this multi-spoke steering wheel, you have all your call it buttons and wheels right there, allowing you to actually toggle through all the different aspects of what you're actually seeing there right there on the virtual cockpit, and also unfold your phone at the same time. Okay, and we also, there's a lever right there at the bottom of the, on the right, left hand bottom of the steering wheel, basically, which allows you to actually activate cruise control. Okay, so this car actually has cruise control, so you can actually use cruise control if and when you need it. And one of the most favorite things that I love on the Q3 Sportback is the fact that it has paddle shifters, right, which I wish every car had, right? Because what I feel that with the paddle shifters, I know you can actually do it on the gear knob as well, but with the paddle shifters, what I want is to have both of my hands on the steering wheel and allow me to actually change gears as and when I need it, and that's really fantastic with a car like this, especially, alright, with a 2-liter car. Of course, with the Q3 Sportback, your usual, another feature that stands out basically from this and the other models, the fact that this one has a 6 profile, alright? First, Audis usually have 4 or 5, but this actually has 6. This has an off-road mode, okay, off-road mode, which allows you to actually take this bad boy, of course it being Quattro, and all, to take it off the beaten path and be as adventurous as you want to be. Alright, so with the off-road mode, what happens is you get all those active dampers being activated, the shock absorbers, allowing you to go to different terrains, which I think is a real beautiful thing to have in a car like the Audi Q3 Sportback. Alright, and once again, back to the steering wheel, the fact is, when you look at this car, you're thinking, oh, it's a hard car to drive and everything, but you'd be surprised at how light this and maneuverable this car really is. Right? And in terms of consumption-wise, we've driven it quite a bit, and I must say I am truly impressed with the fact that it was a full load and me manipulating it in different modes. Audi's numbers, we have come pretty close to Audi's numbers, and you want to find out on the consumption as well. You want to check out that in our specification table. Alright, so in a nutshell, what we feel and how we feel about the car itself. Comfort levels and the fact that it has a sloping roof does not affect the amount of comfort that the rear passenger has, because if you watch the other part of my video, I actually showed you that there's really tons of space for you as a passenger if you happen to be sitting in the rear seat. So power-wise, this being a 2-liter turbocharged engine, we also have the choice of getting it in a 1.4. I feel that this car really allows you to have the lifestyle that you need, whether it's for work, for play. I mean, the Q3 Sportback allows you to have all the fun you need in that crossover. Alright, so that being said, I think that's about as much as we could give you right here on our drive experience. And if you want to find out more, just head on down to Audi. And in the meantime, this is Renee signing off. Well folks, time to wrap up our drive experience with the Audi Q3 Sportback. First question comes to mind. Is it really worth the money to get the new Q3 Sportback, or just stick with the regular Q3? Well, the fact that it has all new design changes and also implementing its SUV coupe styling, I think this Q3 Sportback gives you really the edge over its sister. And the fact that you have a choice between the 1.4-liter variant, that also gives you some of the choices as well. And in terms of how it handles, this being the Quattro model, I think we are pretty happy with what the Audi Q3 Sportback has to offer. We want to say a big Revv Evolution thank you to all you guys out there for joining us right here on this episode, and also to Premium Automobiles for allowing us to have the Audi Q3 Sportback for our presentation. To find out more about Revv Evolution, whether it's our cars, our food, our lifestyle, do remember to check out our link right over there. And of course, do remember to subscribe. Till we catch you again, this is Renee signing off.